Botanic gardens around the world play a vital role in conserving the biodiversity of plants on the planet. Often endangered or rare species will be looked after in these gardens to ensure, as much as possible, they don't become extinct. Added to this, the gardens act as showcases for a fabulous variety of plants from Australia and around the world. Whether they're massive oaks, rare pines or delicate yet dangerous carnivores, yes, flesh eaters, each has a story to be told. What better way to spend your spare time than with a group of people tasked with the responsibility of sharing the fascination of plants with others?
I think I realised that one of the things that kept me going in paid work was just fear about retirement. That I knew, it wasn't as if I had any major hobbies I wanted to expand, and I thought I'd just go mad. And so actually, while I was still working, I started doing some volunteer work on Sundays, which was my only free day. And then after I left paid work in May last year, I just ramped up my volunteering. So I do it probably 3 or 4 days a week at a couple of places, including here. And to me, it's really important. It gives me structure. So I've got something for my day. I'm getting out and about. And I'm learning things that are really a bit outside my comfort zone as well.
Peter, what is it about the Bulbophyllum graveolens that's interesting?
It's a very large bulbophyllum for its type, and it comes from New Guinea, and it's a species, and it's got a rather distinctive smell, which you may want to have a smell.
All right, I'll try.
Go closer.
Oh, that is a farmyard smell.
There are millions of years to come up with that smell, and some have a sweeter smell, and some have a much worse smell.
Okay, so Peter, you're obviously an orchid man. Is this what your primary involvement at the gardens?
Oh yes, it's my only involvement at the moment. I've been asked to join the gardens as a volunteer to help them look after the orchid collection, and the main job here is to repot it, help explain it to the employees how to look after the orchids and where to grow them in the gardens. 10 years ago we started looking at something to do when we did retire, and so we developed an interest in orchids, and now it's taken over our lives.
Fantastic. Being yourself and...
My wife, she's also very interested in orchids, and she also works in the gardens as a volunteer.
Now here's the really important question. Why do you do it?
I realised that when I retire I need something to do and to keep me busy. So what I've done is a gradual transition from work into retirement. I'm actually working still 3 days a week and volunteering here too. Then it will start to reverse and spend more time here and at home. And the other reason is that I want to give back something to the community. I've lived in Sydney for a very long time. It's been good to me, and this is my way of helping to give back something to Sydney itself.
We do get a lot of retirees here, and it's a great opportunity. We give people that have either had a career wanting to do something different to give back, we give them an opportunity, or even if someone wants to learn a new skill, it's a great opportunity for people, and that opportunity for them, either whether it's a new skill or to socialise, it gives us an opportunity to value add to our organisation in so many ways.
We have 340 volunteers in my organisation, which is a lot. They're the very heart of the gardens, really. So we run the information booth. We have a section called Growing Friends, which our horticultural friends propagate from the living collection and sell them. So it's a nursery open to the public. You can be a helping hand, which you can help throughout the garden. You can be a talking friend. You can go out and tell the world about what we do and how we support the gardens. And administration, you can come into the office and work with the team. Yes, there's quite a few retirees, yes, and most of our volunteers are incredibly smart. They come from all kind of different backgrounds. So yeah, we're blessed with our volunteers.
So Janelle, what do you do here at the gardens?
I'm the coordinator of event volunteers. I have a crew of, I think, 150 men and women.
Wow. And what exactly is the event going on here?
This is Artisans. This is one of our primary fundraising exhibitions for the gardens. We have 3 exhibitions a year, and Artisans is one that people really look forward to. It happens every spring.
So what is it about the volunteering here that you particularly like?
I like volunteering at the Royal Botanic Gardens through Foundation and Friends because everything we do goes back into the gardens. Foundation and Friends raises money for science, horticulture, education. So many people love the Botanic Gardens, but they forget how important it is that we keep it going, how it's threatened all the time, how people treat it like a park. It's a scientific institution. So we're trying to support it in many ways as we can.
We're in the Growing Friends Nursery. The aim is for them to buy the plants so that the money then goes back into the Botanic Gardens, into Growing Friends Kitty, so that we can help the gardens with projects that they need money for.
Great, okay, and so does it keep you mentally and physically fit?
Absolutely, absolutely, because you have to remember the name of about 6,000 plants.
Wow.
And you don't sit down, you're walking around all the time. If you love gardening and you love being with people and interested in learning new things, because plant names change all the time as well. We've had one plant that was called a Babingtonia. They've changed the name 3 times in the last 3 years.
If you're a volunteer guide, you get quite a lot of training, because if you're not a plant person, you can't take a group of tourists around and not know about plants or the history or whatever. So there is there's got to be a passion there of something, but whether it's just being with people, and then we can train and add skills to those other areas, whether it's plant information science or history. So,
So Steve, what is it you do here at the Gardens?
Well, I'm one of the volunteer guides, and we've got 2 basic functions. One of them is providing the free walk program. So most of the year we do 2 free walks a day, and we also do some paid walks for groups. And the other one is manning the visitor centre here. But this is where visitors come in and got any questions, that sort of thing. They come in and they ask us. So those are the two key roles that the volunteer guides look after here. I first got interested in guiding when I was about 40. There's so much to learn, and yeah, it's just absolutely wonderful fun.
For about 5 years, I've been volunteering as a guide here, or in the information centre.
Fantastic. Yeah. Did you do any training?
I did do horticulture at TAFE. I did a Certificate 3, and that gave me a fairly good background into the workings of plants, and of course you learn here as you go around. Obviously we are here, and this is the Botanic Gardens on Sydney Harbour, and it's special for a couple of reasons. It was the first place European settlement happened in 1788. Anyone heard about the Wallamai pine before? Yes, well it was discovered in 1994 and it made headlines around the world. Until it was found, it was only known from fossils, and it was some 100 million years to go.
sometimes we've got short-term volunteering programs, like New Year's Eve. We have a lot of people come in and help us on New Year's Eve, just to meet and greet all our international visitors and tell them where they might like to see the fireworks or things. So that's short-term, and we've got our long-term if someone's retired and looking for a longer-term project.
I've got a garden, watering can, a few pots. How complicated can gardening be? Well, the answer is very. I was impressed by the propagating area, how much attention is given to this early stage of a plant's life, with all the different fertilizers and potting mixes and all the rest of it. We were at the calyx and we saw how volunteers prevent people from being eaten by carnivorous plants. We learnt why orchids are the most fascinating plants in the universe, as long as you don't try and inhale. If, on the other hand, you're interested in botanic history, then archiving is the job for you. As is usual with large organisations, there's an awful lot more when you lift the hood and go inside. Because I've been visiting the Botanic Gardens for years, but never quite realising what a complex organisation it is. So, as one of our volunteers said, if you want to give something back to the community, why not go along to your local Botanic Gardens and see what you can do?